She just needs prayers. So we're live. Hi everybody. Welcome.
Hi everyone.
Allyson and I tonight. I just saw really quick. I saw Ross, and exactly that's today is 777. And I asked Marina and Val last night, well, where's the third seven? Because I was a little confused. And she says, no, if you take 20 plus 23, that breaks down to another 7. So it's a 777 today. So they're supposed to be like, it's considered a portal for energy today. And that's one of the things that Allyson and I were going to talk about. There's not a lot. I just went on and, did some Googling and found out, some of the numbers with, 777. But Allyson's very good with numerology. She has a much better working understanding of numerology. Because of it being, a 777, she said that she'd be more than happy to share with us her knowledge of the number 7. But before we get going, just a little while ago, I put a link in here. Now, her name is Tanya. She has a channel. She's a reader. I was just introduced to her, learned about her from Sherry H. Earlier this week. She lives in Las Vegas, and she was riding her bike unprovoked. Some man jumped out of nowhere. Was driving on a car, stopped her on her bike, got out of the car, and just started beating the living hell out of her. And she had so much swelling on the brain, they didn't know if she was going to make it. She's doing fabulous. She gives almost daily updates, and she's just still, I just want to put out there that the more of us who can, put our prayers and healing energy to her. When you see the video and the pictures, you won't believe what this person did to her. But she's strong, she's beautiful, and she's working on rehabilitation. So if y'all can go to her site, see her pictures, her face, send some of that healing energy, that would be awesome. Her name is Tanya Stingley. So, but yeah, she's doing better. I mean, I'm surprised when I first saw what she looked like. It was amazing. That
is she out of ICU?
Alive. Yes, she is.
Okay, good. I know she had a brain bleed.
Yeah. So you know who she is. Okay. So I just wanted to put that in there for anybody who's not familiar, and just send as much love and healing her way as possible. And wow, let me see. This chat is jumping. So first of all, Tangi, hello, sweetheart. Between her and Teresa.
Hi, Tangi.
She says she's going to be listening whilst lurking. Her favorite word, whilst. We have Flowing. Hello, Flowing. Rossi's Den. I can't go up a little bit further, but there was somebody. Yeah, but they won't let me go up any further on chat. But Isadora was here also. Teresa Levine. Rosanna's here. And I did see Marby. Hello, welcome. Hey, Gerald. What's up? I'm listening whilst cooking dinner. That's the word of the night. Today's episode was brought to you by the word whilst and the number 7. So there's Cheyenne. Hello, Cheyenne. Nancy Riker. Hello, Nancy. Oh my goodness. And it just jumped. I did see Ivana. There you go. Hello, Ivana. And wow, we're jumping. So 777, as most people know, 777 is a number that they love using in gambling. Lucky number 7. I know the 777 is considered a spiritual number for the Christian church. And when I brought up 777, it's also considered an angel number. And it's a number on spirituality, also spiritual awakening, enlightenment, connection, and transformation. And it's when you see lots of 7s, that's a message from your guardian angels that they are supporting you and guiding you. So that was very lovely. Val and Marina were mentioning it last night on their messages for light workers. And so that was a fun episode last night. And then when Allyson, when I sent you that information to tell you about on the text for the number 7, I looked at the time and it was 717. So 2 more 7s were in there.
Right.
So Hope everybody had a wonderful week. How was your week?
It was good. I only worked one day this week. Not a busy week for work at all. I had one field trip. It was fine because the holiday, obviously broke it up a bit. So, yeah, it was fine. It was pretty, I can't complain at all. I mean, it's been kind of hot. It has been hot. Today it cooled off a bit. It was 82. And it's supposed to be, is it tomorrow that it's supposed to be nice? I think it's tomorrow that it's supposed to be nice. Yes, tomorrow we're supposed to get rain. The high is only 75. So I'm looking forward to that. And it was supposed to be nice weather next week, but they bumped it up and it's going to be all in the 80s all next week. So,
tomorrow
which is
we're supposed
fine,
to have
but
80 tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. We've been bouncing back and forth on the warm days. But yeah, 81, it wasn't too bad. I did not have to turn my air conditioning on, which I've been running it a lot, and I don't like to do that because my bill is crazy. But I will do it. Like if it's super hot, and we have humidity, and I can't do the humidity.
Yeah, the last 2 days it was like 100. It was like around 90 or so. But then when you mention, when you filter in the heat index,
right, it feels hotter.
100, and we're just like, ugh. And then the 4th of July, at least we got to spend by the water. Did you have a good 4th? I saw the pictures with the watermelons.
The 90 is the hottest that we've had so far. It hasn't been any hotter than that, but with humidity, who knows? Yes, I had a nice 4th. I spent it not most of it, part of it at my sister's house. We had a barbecue and all of that. And yeah, she had a bunch of beautiful food. As you know, I don't eat all of that stuff. But it was very nice, and we had a bunch of extra people over, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
That's good. Another bonfire?
Nope, we didn't end up doing one. Actually, they were going to do one, but I had to leave because of my dogs, because there were going to be fireworks, and one of my dogs is terrified of fireworks. So I had to get home before dark.
Yeah. My Lulu.
Yeah, my Chihuahua doesn't mind it at all, but my other one freaks out.
Poor babies. And I feel bad too for the 4th, because a lot of people don't realize that we have men and women, that are back from, the war and from services that they did, that a lot of people have PTSD, and when they shoot those off, a lot of it affects them. And our neighbors, of course, weren't considerate, and it would be quiet 1 minute, and all of a sudden, boom, or boom, boom, and it scared the living hell out of it. You didn't know if it was a firework, if you didn't know if someone was going by and doing a drive. It's just...
Yeah, that's the 4th of July, unfortunately. Yeah, it's no different here. I mean, my thing is the wild animals, because they really don't know what's going on. And it's just, honestly, I would love to see us have some sort of, federal law enforced where it's the 4th of July.
Yeah.
And that's it. You can do it on the 4th. You can't be doing it on the 3rd, 4th, 5th, and that's really what it looks like. Often it'll start the weekend before and doesn't end until the weekend of. So anyways, that's a problem in my opinion.
And being here in the falls, when they can afford it, they'll do fireworks over the falls, and then you can hear far away, boom, 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 depending on how much money, budget, weather. Sometimes it's like 2 or 3 times a week. Sometimes it's here and there. So but I just wish people would start just taking other people's, traumas and things into consideration, instead of the whole, me, kind of like, as a kid, I enjoyed it. My dad we would have to be outside and the sparklers and everything. But then, after those, like the day before, the day of, that was it, And Jane just posted somewhere they don't do fireworks. They do drone lights. I didn't know that. That's new to me.
I didn't know that either, but I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Honestly, especially now that I'm thinking about it, I didn't see one firework. I just realized I didn't see any. Of course, I didn't go outside to try to see any on the 4th because I was inside with my dogs. But I just realized I didn't see any. Usually I see a whole bunch. And they were going on near here, but I didn't see any.
We saw a couple with the people on the other side of the building, the ones that go up and actually do the colors. And I'm like, are they even allowed to do those kinds of fireworks? without
Probably
being,
not, but
you
it's
know.
easy enough to acquire.
Oh yeah, there's all these different places set up all around here where you could just drive in and, you know, fireworks here, fireworks there, and I'm just like, really, But anywho, so Allyson, tell us about the number 7.
Yeah, I can tell you a little bit about 7. 7's one of my favorite numbers, actually. What's going on right now, though, I'm being perfectly honest, I don't know about any crossover.
I don't know a lot of it either. Yeah.
I don't know anything about like the portals and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to say I don't believe in it, but it's just not something I've ever been drawn to. I hear people peripherally talking about it, different portals, and like there's the Lion's Gate and all this kind of stuff. It's just, I don't know. It's just never really struck me as a real thing. I'm not saying it's not real. I just don't, you know what I mean? It's just never.
Yeah, we're all different. So your energy may not be affected by certain, and some people's are.
I've watched a handful of things over the years and it just never grabbed me. I don't know. But as far as 7 goes, and again, it's been years since I've done any studying of numerology, but I really embraced what I learned years ago and I've never stopped following it. So am I rusty? Absolutely. But I do know a fair amount. And it's funny, I've prompted myself, I'm going to read my book. Again, the book that's my favorite book here, Glynis McCants. I'm going to read it. It's an easy read. Anybody that's interested in numerology, it's very easy to apply to your life. It's super interesting. I still use it in the sense of, like if I'm going to schedule something that's important, or if there's anything, like if you're choosing a day or a time or anything like that, I always use it with my numbers. And I'll guide like my son to do things with his best numbers. And in fact, he's embraced that. He's his life path, like you have your 6 numbers. I'm not going to get all into numerology itself, but his life path is a 3. And so when he got his first tattoo, he there was a crown of roses on the tattoo that he got, and he got 3 roses, and he loves roses. And he also got his astrological sign as well, which is a bull. He's a Taurus, but I digress. But anyways,
another Taurus.
Yes. Oh, yes. And he is so funny. Again, I'll
just like Mama. Just like Mama.
No, I'm Aries.
Oh, that's right, Aries.
I'm Aries. He was. That's okay. He was very much not Taurus-like as a child, and I thought that was so interesting. But I didn't do his chart for the longest time, and then I did do his chart, and he has so many air placements. It's unreal. He has lots of Gemini. He has like 5 Gemini placements, and he has a few Aquarius, which is air, and more air, and some more air, and air on top of that. But he's an earth sign, thank God. Otherwise, he'd fly away. And I used to joke around, he was like Winnie the Pooh when I was little, because you know the whole scene with Pooh flying away, and he really was into Winnie the Pooh. But anyhow, yeah, he's a Taurus. So somebody just said they were a 7 life path. That's awesome. Who was that?
That's Rosanna.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So 7s are any number, regardless if it's 7 or not. You can live on the, what's the wording that she uses? I'll just say positive and negative. That sounds really extreme. It's that she uses different wording, but like on the positive side or the negative side of the number, depending on what's going on in your life. And you'll, vacillate back and forth between the two throughout your life with whatever's going on. Your life path is the number that tells the most about you. It's the one that is the strongest within you, that sort of thing. So a 7 is just like, any of the other signs, where if you're living on the negative side of a 7, they tend towards alcohol, drugs, all those kinds of things. There's 3s are the same way. 7s, however, and it's because they are so sensitive. 7s are very intuitive, often quite psychic. They are the odd.
Oh, you're breaking up, Allyson.
I can't do anything about it.
Okay.
If I am, I'm sorry. I'm just going to keep talking. So So the sevens, they're very sensitive. They're very affected, just to give an example, by water. Like they're much more calm, much more serene if they can be around nature, but any kind of nature. But water has an especially calming effect on sevens. They're the ones that feel like, you know, a spaceship landed and they got off the spaceship. Like they just don't belong here. They
no
feel
wonder
kind of
Tangi
odd.
says that.
What'd she say? Oh, Tangi, no way.
And
I love it. Yes, Tangi's a perfect example of that. Absolutely. And Tangi is very much on the positive side of seven. Not that she doesn't maybe have issues or problems in her life. We all do, but she is nothing if she isn't positive every time you see her. She is a light and she shines. And that's a perfect example of being a seven. What else? Really strong sense of humor. Yeah, she's a doll baby. You know, very funny. Let's see what else. And I opened my book to seven just so I could glance at it, because again, I'm a little rusty, but I do know quite a bit about sevens.
And we all use books.
Yeah, and again, if I'd known we were going to talk about this, I probably would have went ahead and just read all of this, but I do know this quite well.
I know, I was kind of like last minute, but I was trying to, you know, just kind of feel what we were going to do. And I said, you know what? Allyson knows, you know, numbers. I'll just have her throw in some.
Yeah, I do. Some more than others, because the people that are closest to me in my life, I will really read and learn about that number, or I used to. Again, I'm a little rusty, but I do know most of the numbers quite well. So I'm going to just kind of jump around a little bit. Sevens, if they don't like you, you will know. And oftentimes they will even tell you. Now, you can't picture Tangi doing that, but she very well maybe that way. Exactly. You know, where a lot of people will be kind of passive or this or that or whatever. A seven will just tell you to, you know what. They can have a lethal tongue. Let's see what else. They have an affinity. Does she agree?
No, I just had a lot of Tangi and I hang out a lot backstage, and we have conversations and stuff. So, yeah, you know, she has a ton.
Yep. They have a wonderful affinity for the simple things, which is very true. My ex-partner of 7 years is a seven, and he absolutely loved, you know, have an affinity for several things that you would think are like more like a simple thing. Little things can make them happy. They do have an air of secrecy about them. There is some mystery there. Natural psychic ability, which I already mentioned.
Yep.
Listen to this, Tangi, especially. This is her, Glynis, the writer. She writes, I'm going to read this one verbatim. She says, I think sevens are here observing humans. Not quite sure what makes us tick.
Oh my God. Michelle Marie. Okay,
let's see. It says, no, it's no accident that Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock in Star Trek, is a seven life path.
Wow.
Let's see. What else?
And Cosmic Orphan says he is lurking to learn. So learn
nice. Away. Oh yeah, and they have a strong affinity for animals and pets, which a lot of people do, but sevens, I've known many sevens, and that's very true. And it says that sevens living on the positive side of their numbers are more closely linked with God than the other life path numbers. Because they're just very, very spiritual. Again, if they're living on their positive vibration side. I was going to read the part that talked about negatively aspected. It's not jumping back. Oh, here it is. It says when they're off track, sevens, like the fives, I'm a five, are drawn to drugs, alcohol, sex, travel, and overwork. And I definitely was guilty of that a couple times in my life. Let's see.
Well, that's why we're here to learn. You know, there's a balance, and we just got to learn how to keep it. Sometimes we go to the right, sometimes we go to the left, and just put ourselves back in the middle.
Oh, yeah. And the sevens need to work hard. They are not going to kick back on their heels and lay down and eat bonbons. That's not going to happen. Sevens are all about getting stuff done. And that is absolutely true. Every 7 that I've known has been hardworking and not at all lazy. And
So
if
how
work
important
is their passion, they'll really, that's okay. If work is their passion, they'll really throw themselves into it. They'll still make time for their families. Their children are very cherished. Yeah, they will take their job very seriously and take pride in what they do.
Now, when it comes to like path numbers, I know mine is 8, but my birth date is a 6. So which is the stronger number, or do they kind of, or are they looked at together? Kind of like, you know, like when you look at your ascending and your moon and everything, how much does the actual day number that you're born on, how is that, you know, in comparison to a life number? Is it not as pertinent, or?
Right. Your life path number is the most pronounced. It's one that's going to strive you the most. It's the one that's going to be the most expressive. It's the one that you are going to feel the most. It's going to be the one that you exude the most, all of it. Think of it like your sun sign. Not saying it's your sun sign, because your life path is also, to a degree, how people see you, which is really more your rising sign in astrology. But I digress. So your life path, your attitude number comes from the month and the day combined and broken down to 1 digit. You know, that's your attitude number, which is exactly what it sounds like, right? So that's, you know, how you act, you know, which can be, you know, yeah, that I would somewhat compare like to your rising sign, right? And then you have your birth number, which is broken down from your birthday number is broken down from your birthday, right? So like I'm born on the 21st, so it's a 3, right? But your attitude number is really just more, it's more so like how people see you. But like your life path number, I would say it's more encompassing than what a sun sign is. It's also a lot simpler. I mean, astrology is way, way more detailed than numerology would ever even dream of being. Because there's just so much to astrology.
That I can't absorb. I mean, Colleen from the Cool Crone, she does. I tried watching one of her lives one night, and she had a diagram, and I was just lost in how she knows how to, you know, this is there and that is there in this house,
right? But you have to really. It's not just something you're going to grab. You would have to. Yeah. No, it is, and honestly, I'm not disagreeing. I don't think it's difficult. I think it's just it's very layered, and you have to start and learn it. And there's some very basic concepts. If you don't have those, you're not going to understand any of it. You know what I mean? There's no jumping around really in true astrology. And I'm not pretending that I know it well, because I don't. I know some very basic astrology, but that is on my bucket list. That's one of the things that I will get good at by the time I'm leaving this planet, unless I exit earlier than I'm planning.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, let's hope not. And then just a couple more things. I flipped the page, and this is the end of it. See if there's anything else here. They excel at numerology, astrology, and tarot card reading. Not surprising, because they are so spiritual. When they speak, people want to listen. I agree with that completely. Certain occupations that are quite compatible for them are oceanography, astronomy, biology, geology. Not surprising, all that very nature-based professionalism. And there are children for life in many ways. So is the 3. Conversely, when they are children, their parents often point out that they seem like old souls.
Gotcha. And Amanda Carroll, as she's a 5.
Life path?
Yeah, she says, what say you, Allison?
So am I. Yep. Oh, really? Yep, absolutely. Okay. Freedom and adventure all day long. Yeah, don't hold me down. Don't bore me.
Now, Hypnotist wants to know, is there more than one way to determine a life path number? But all you do
is you just add up your entire date of birth and reduce it down to 1 digit.
Yeah, mine's an 8. Hypnotist thinks I'm a 2. It was so weird. Before I even knew that was my life path number, I always just loved the number 8 for some reason. It was always my favorite, even though my birthday was the 6th, and I love the 6th because it's my birthday. For some reason, I was always interested. I don't know if it's because of you know, the curving and, you know, me very loving
Yeah.
water and the fluid and the
Mhm.
circles or what. But, and then
Yeah.
when I did my numbers, I looked, I said, what the hell? What do you know? It's an 8.
Yeah, you'll see that a lot too. And I know you don't really resonate with your 8, which I should probably talk to you about it in more detail because there's a lot more into it than what we even discussed the last time we talked about it. But coming back to what you were just saying, a lot of people that I've talked to over the years, oftentimes when they find out what their life path number is, oh, that's my favorite number. I've heard that I don't know how many times. And 3 and 5 are my favorite numbers. Those are both of those are in my primary numbers because I'm a 3, 5, 6. So it's just kind of funny. And and something else that's interesting is, so you have your life path number, right? Everything else is gauged off of that. You have numbers that you're compatible with. You have numbers that you are a natural match to, and then you have numbers that you're a challenge to. And it's interesting, if your life path number and your attitude number are in conflict, like mine are, that creates a challenge throughout your life. And it's
so
just
how do you
part of
find
your
out what
lesson
your
while you're here.
attitude number is?
So your attitude number again is the month and the date of birth, or the day
Just
of
the month and the
your
date,
birthday,
but not the year. Okay.
the month and the day. Correct. Yep. So I'm a
12.
5 and I'm born March 21st. So I'm a 6. So I have a 5, 6, and 5 and 6 are challenges to each other. So,
yeah. So I would be at 8. So mine's 18, but then I would do 1 plus 8 and that would make it 9.
You born on the what? The 18th?
No, I'm December, which is 12. And
which
then
is
my
a 3.
birthday's the 6th, so the number is 18 when you add that.
So it's a 9.
9.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Okay.
Yep. So
I'll
you're
have
an
to get
8,
a book
9
or something.
Yep. And that's a challenge.
Well, if it wasn't a challenge, we wouldn't be here, right?
Well, and a lot of people, it's compatible, or sometimes it's
Really?
the same number and it's a natural match. And it's interesting to look at the people's lives that their life path and their attitude number are the same or compatible or natural match, and they got an easier go of it. Numerology is very real. Again, you can have, and then you have 6 numbers in your chart. 3 of them come from your name, so those are interchangeable. Change your name. You could change the name you go by.
This is fascinating. I should look this up and start.
But your 3 main numbers come from your day of birth, and there's not a damn thing you can do about that. So, and it's not by any mistake. All of this, it's very interesting. It's very simple, which is another reason a lot of people like it, and it's very easy to apply to your life, especially, like I said, making appointments or important dates, or going to the doctor or getting some news or whatever. I like the days that I choose to work, like anything, anything you can set yourself up to have a better experience or have odds in your favor. Absolutely.
Now, Hypnicity said she put 625. So when we do numbers, because I know I made a mistake once before. So do we do each number individually, or do we like group the numbers and then add them and then break them down?
She's a 2. Hold on.
She's
7,
a 2.
12,
That's what
13,
I was getting.
4,
I had
5 plus 6. She's a 2.
2. Okay, so I was right. So yeah. So you're a 2, Hypnicity. Amanda says she's a 4. 12 and 10. Yeah, numbers are fascinating. And Tangerine said that was awesome.
It's fun too. I mean, like, I've always liked numbers, always. And I was
awful in math. I hated numbers.
Certain math. I mean, you can see I just goofed that up, but I was hustling. But I can usually I can throw it together really quick in my mind.
Yeah, I wish I could have done that. I was awful at math. It was just like, math class is over. Thank God. What's next? Art? Okay. Or English? Okay.
I was great until we got into algebra, and I just the way my brain is, and I have ADD, and I was like, this is not interesting. And if I'm not interested, I'm not going to learn it. So I was like, fine. So now regular
like,
math.
Numbers. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so funny. No. You said there were 3 numbers. So so how do you get a 3rd number, and what does that number represent?
So the first number is your date of birth, your day of birth. Your day.
So that's your first. Okay, so
no, the day. No, right. So the day of the month that you're born. Yeah. Right. Yep, so I'm on the 21st. So I'm a 3.
Okay.
Then you have your life path, which is the entire date.
Which is the 8. Okay.
Right,
And
which
then
is your life
and then I have a
path.
9.
And then you have
That's
the
interesting.
attitude, which is the month and the day only. And everything's reduced to 1 digit, all 3 of those placements, right?
Now,
So,
what about, because I know some people say when it comes to master numbers, though, like 11, 12, I've seen some other, shows or readers say
11
that,
and 22, Glynis
stuff you
doesn't
can't
really
break
get into
down.
all of that. No, you can. It does. 11 is a 2.
Okay.
It is. And a
So you
22
know
is a
master
4.
number.
But if it breaks down to that number prior, it's considered a master number. She did write a quick little blurb, and I can read it, and I will. And
Yeah,
we'll
Amanda, I
see
agree. I like this subject. Me
It
too.
is really interesting. It took me a minute to find it last time. Hold on 1 second. It's here. If you want to talk about
Okay.
something else, go right ahead, and I'll
Come
find
on,
it.
he wants on my lap. He wants to say hi. He's meowing kind of loud. So there we go. Say hi, boo. Yes, there we go. Say hi to everybody.
Here it is.
Allyson. Alrighty. Time to go.
Yes, the
Bye.
beautiful baby.
The
He's
beautiful
so
baby.
gorgeous. It's ridiculous. Too much beauty. Too much beauty. Those eyes
cuteness.
kill me. So this is what she says.
Really cute is Tangi's pet raccoon that comes up into her porch and goes up in her tree and says hi to her. She named him Toes.
I heard her mention that. Is there
and
footage
I saw
of that?
him last night. It was so cute.
Aw. This is what she says. It's real short, so I'll just go ahead and read it. Master numbers. She says, I get a lot of questions about master numbers from people who are born on the 11th or the 22nd day of the month. Often they want to know why I don't talk more about master numbers, because somewhere along the way they've heard these are very special days to be born. In some ways, they are right. The master numbers 11 and 22 do carry a particular power, which I will go into later. But first, let's see if you have a master number in your birth date. And then she breaks it all down in whatever. She does say, this is what she says, because we're going to jump forward to when she's talking about it. She says, it means quite simply that you should not kick back and relax in this lifetime. You have work to do. Right. So you're here to be a master of something, which is why it's called a master number. She says, being a master number can be a blessing, but it can also attract indecisiveness and in some cases unhappiness. And then she writes this big long blurb about it, but basically that's what it means. So but see, she also, actually, I don't want to say that, but don't quote me on this, but I believe it's not just if you have an 11 or 20 or 11 or 22 birthday. I think, and I could be completely wrong, you guys, again, I've not read this book in ages, and I don't do the master number thing, but just going on memory, or maybe I heard it somewhere else. If your birthday breaks down to a 22 before it becomes a 4, that's also a master number. If it breaks down to 11 before it becomes a 2, that's also, to some degree, it's not going to be as intense as having 11 or a 22 birthday. I heard that somewhere. That may not be true. Again, I don't do the whole master number thing, but I know I heard that somewhere.
It might be because I know somebody in chat mentioned that they're familiar with, I think it was Michelle Marie, the astrological tarot. She was talking about Vedic earlier, and that there was something called a Ketu or something, Ketu, something like that. So that might be also things that you've heard over time, that might be what influences some people with their numbers. I can't go that far.
Oh, here we go. If your life path or birthday adds up to one of these numbers, 11 and 22, please know that the only people given these numbers are the ones who are here to inspire others and serve humanity. Consider this a gift from the universe. Not that other people can't be those things, but she's saying if you specifically have that, you know what I mean? It's written on your forehead. So that's what you're here to do. That's what she's saying. So very interesting. But yeah, just
But yes,
know,
we all have a special path here. We all have ways of inspiring, and
yeah, something else I just want to throw out there.
Sure.
You will notice, or often I should say, if you have somebody in your life, peripherally or directly, that you just can't seem to with that person, right? Do their life path. See what their life path number is. And more often than not, you will see that it's a challenge to your life path. Doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean maybe they're not family. You might even
have somebody like that in my well, not necessarily my family, but in my friends that I've known over the years. Yeah. So for us, sometimes you're just like, I love you, but sometimes, you know, but you know, you still love them at the end of the day, you know.
Yep. And there can be other reasons, of course. I'm not saying that's why, but often you will find, or your attitude number is a toxic combo. Birthday numbers seem to be a little bit more forgiving, but the attitude number and the life path number, or oftentimes people, male, female, people that are related to each other that start dating and it's really hot, right? But then once they get to know each other, it's very toxic, but they stay together because the sexual energy is so good, almost always toxic to each other. And it's just opposites attract.
Tangi says her number is 11.
11 is my birthday, added up to 29. Right. But it's yeah. Anyways, like if you do your whole birthday, right, and it's an 11 before it becomes a 2, yes. And but anyways,
Rosanna wants to know just what is the name of the book.
Sorry, I said it last time. I guess I didn't say it this time. This is called Glynis Has Your Number. Oh, it's not showing very good. Wait, there it is. Glynis Has Your Number, and her name is Glynis McCants, GLYNIS MC small c Cants, CANTS. This is an old book. I'm sure it's still in print though, because it's awesome. It's a great book. It's a quick read. She GLYNIS. And it's Glynis Has Your Number is the name.
Glynis Has Your
And
Number.
this book I got when my son was very little. Yeah, 2005 is the copyright. And this is the first edition. There might have been more than one. I don't know.
And it's McCant, CANT.
MCCANTS. McCants.
There we go.
Yep.
There we go.
And she's lovely too. I don't know if they're still there, although I'm sure they probably are. She might have even had a YouTube channel. I know I saw a video of her. For all I know, she's retired. She's got to be, I would think, my age. I think she's about my age. So she might still be around. I have no idea. I haven't seen her.
So we're not that old.
Well, I'm just saying, I don't know if she's still, because she was on a couple programs and I saw her on, I want to, I could be wrong. I want to say she might have done something briefly with Hay House. Not that she was a Hay House person, but I could swear. I know I've seen her on what is that called? Is it Gaia?
Gaia channel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Gaia channel. Yeah. And sorry, I was just going to say, I think it mentioned something right here. But no, she's awesome. And there's lots of other books out there. Like I've scanned many in the bookstores. It's been a few years since I've actually done that. I never ended up buying another book. But I know what I'm buying before I buy it, and I don't willy-nilly buy any books at all. I never felt like I needed anything else. And this is really the only subject that I felt that way about, because she was so thorough and followed, there was so much. And it didn't leave me with any questions. It didn't leave me with any questions. And oftentimes you'll read on something and then you still have some questions. For me, that's why I'll end up buying additional books. But this is a subject that you can, like astrology, goes and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes.
Well, it's fascinating. It really is.
Yep.
And today, speaking of Hay House, I bought myself a deck. I haven't been a very good girl. I've been, catching up on bills and stuff. But when I saw that this had come out, because Sherry H showed it on her channel. I had to get it today. My Healing Waters Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. I love that. So just let me check here again. Hello. Oh, hey, TK. Welcome. Okay, Cosmic Orphan said her book is now $2.99 on Kindle. So if you have a Kindle and you want her book,
that's a guy.
Yeah. Did I say something else? Did I say
thought you said her. I'm sorry. I thought you said her.
No, her book. No, Glynis's book is on Kindle.
Oh, Glynis's book is on Kindle right now for $2.99. Oh, cool, Cosmic Orphan. So that is this book here. She might even have more than one book. I don't know. In fact, I think she did. I just didn't buy it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she had more than one book.
So for today, I thought if anybody wanted, are you done? Would you like to discuss anything else? I thought we might pull some
I'm
cards.
good. Nothing else comes to mind unless anybody has any questions, which I might be able to answer. Depending on what they are.
So before we get to, because for like a collective or individual, I thought, just if there are any spiritual messages because today is 777, you could always, I could put some cards on that. Amanda says, I like how you made the astrology correlations.
Thank you.
And does anybody have any number questions for Allyson before we jump to pulling some cards?
Yeah, and if any of you really quickly want to know what your compatible numbers, your natural match numbers, your challenge numbers are, I'm glad to tell you.
So what would they need to provide in the
their
chat?
life path number? I could just say them all really quick, actually, if everybody wants to know.
We'll see. Okay, Sonia's like, yes, please. Life path number 3.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. Your natural match numbers is a 3, or 3, 6, and 9. Those are your natural match numbers. That one's really easy to remember. Your compatible numbers, meaning somebody that you for the most part, get along, see eye to eye, might not be perfect, right? Is 1, 2, and 5. And let me back up a little bit because that's how I do things. Natural match just means that, things are pretty good. Y'all just get each other. It's like looking in the mirror, right? 3, a 6, and 9. Like my son is a 3 and his father, my ex-husband, is a 9. And they just get each other. They just do. And that's like an example of that. Challenge, somebody that you're going to be like, oh my God. And it doesn't mean that you don't ever have good days or good experiences, but like when things get crunchy, they get really crunchy because you're just speaking 2 different languages, right?
I love
so
that.
4, 7, and 8. 4, 7, and 8 are going to be a challenge for a 3. My son and I are compatible. But like this is a perfect example. We have the same birthday number. We're both a 3. Right. And then and like his attitude number is an 8 and mine is a 6, which is compatible. So that works out well.
So what about a life path of number 8? So I know there was another 8 in the chat earlier, so I think it's, I don't know if it's
we'll do 8. Like I said, I could do all of them, but if we don't have, plus some people aren't going to be or have even done their numbers, or maybe they're just not as interested, and that's fine. So 2, 4, and 8 are your natural match, right? 2, 4, and 8. Keep it really simple. 2, 4, 8. 5s. And this is the only one that she does this with, 5 and 8. 5s get along, are compatible, especially in business. That's like, she just puts that in there, in business. And the 8, right? You're compatible with an 8, right? Now, isn't it, 6. Sorry, we're reading about the 8, 6. So 5s and 6s are your compatible numbers. 5s you're especially compatible with in business. Like if you were, worked with somebody, or you went into business with somebody, or, legal situations or whatever. Your challenges, you have 4 of them.
So this is for an 8. Okay.
Yeah. 1, 3, 7, and 9.
Interesting. That's one of my numbers, my attitude number.
Right. That's why, yeah, that's crunchy. Like I said. Yeah.
Crunchy. Yeah. I'm
so
crunchy.
It means like there's a conflict. So am I. There's there's a conflict there. Did anybody else want to know?
Amanda Carroll said she's a 5 and she would like to know.
Sure. So 157 are your compatible numbers.
Okay.
Or natural match. I'm sorry, honey. Natural match 1, 5, and 7. These are my numbers, so I know them, but I'm gonna look at it anyways. You're compatible, because there is a weird one that I always goof up. You're compatible with 3 and 9. I was married to a 9. And again, my son is a 9, right? And yes, my son and I are very compatible. And actually my ex-husband and I were too, but that's a whole nother story. Challenge. And this is so true. Oh my God, because I can only speak for myself. 2s, 4s, and 6s.
That's interesting.
6s I usually get on pretty good with. I can't ever remember having any kind of, but 2s and 4s, like I dated a guy. This is just a quick example. After my divorce, and the first guy that I like really, really dated after my divorce, and it turns out he was a 2 life path. It was really hot and steamy and all that, but we just did not. It was just like on certain things, perfect example, right? And then 8 is neutral, right? And when I was reading about the 8, so from the 8's perspective, you're going to get along well with 5s in business. But for where I sit as a 5, and 8 is a neutral. So that just goes to show my experience. No, what I just said was from my experience, it's very neutral. From your experience, it's compatible in like business type, like even this, I would even call this quote business, like what we're doing here. It's a work atmosphere. So I'm just saying, so it's not always a mirror, right? I think there's one other example, but like the 8 and the 5, it can be kind of funny. Now my sister and I, who are super close, she's an 8. But her other numbers with me are, we have a natural match and a compatible. We get along great. But when we do butt heads on stuff, and it's not even butting heads, we have very different opinions on certain things, like totally. And we just
Samantha popped into chat and she says she's a 22. So
she's really a 4, but yes. Okay. Yep. Mm-hmm. And there is another numerology out there where I believe, I mean, it's basically the same, but I'm not going to act like I know anything about it, but it also goes by the title of numerology, where I believe, and she might even be able to attest to this, they only break it down to the 22. They don't take it further. And they believe you are a master number. And that's what Glynis was trying to say in that first part, where she doesn't delve too deep into that, because she really does think that everything breaks down to a single digit.
Hi, Rose Blue. Today's like a 777 portal like day. So Allison's sharing her numerology with us. So
right, and we're not saying there's a crossover there. We just started talking about numbers.
Just starting to talk about numbers.
Yeah, I don't do the portal stuff.
Yeah, she doesn't. But for
just because I don't know anything about it.
There's a lot of other readers if you want to. I think Valerie from Illumination Portal, I believe she did a video today. If anybody wants to learn more, learn more about the 777. Rose says she's a 9. She's a Lionsgate. See, I'm not familiar with Lionsgate, so that's new to me. But
me neither.
That's something that they would probably. I know that
I followed it a little bit.
Illumination Portal. She does talk about Lionsgate as well, and I think Val does on her channel too.
9s are great, by the way. I love 9s, and that's supposed to be a compatible number for me. I've never met a 9 that I didn't think was just awesome. I love 9 life paths, and I'm a 5. It's not even a natural match for me, but I love 9s.
Okay. So Rose Blue, she's an 8-8. Oh wow, that's cool, Rose. She's an 8-8. My mom was a Leo, and oh boy, she was a handful. her and I just did not, at one point in adulthood, we just did not get along, but that's two fire signs, you know? So fire signs.
See, and I get along great with fire signs.
It's just how, you know.
More, absolutely, everybody's different. More so though, honestly, with Sagittarius
Oh,
and Leo,
wow.
not so much with Aries.
Now,
especially
Amanda,
Aries men. I don't like Aries men. Sorry, I don't. Any Aries men out there? I'm entitled to like who I like and not who I don't.
So Amanda, when you say 555, is that like, I'm not sure what those numbers.
I don't know what that means.
Unless it was just, I don't know.
Oh, she might be answering somebody about something.
Time. Okay.
Yeah, 3 hours ago. It's probably in California time.
Now, Hypnoticity said number 2. I don't know if she means I don't know what she means by natural. Oh, natural match for a number 2.
Oh yeah, sure, honey. That? I think natural match is 248, but let me look because again, some of there are a lot of it is natural match is 248. Compatible is 1, 3, 6, and 9. Challenge.
Well, if I had the extra money, I'd be buying playing the lotto 3 numbers. You pick 3 every day. They draw twice. Hey, we got a couple bucks, everybody. Maybe take some of your numbers and go try.
And challenge is 5 and 7. Hypnicity.
I'm sorry.
2, 4, and 8. Natural. Compatible 1, 3, 6, 9. And challenge 5 and 7.
So then we just need to go online and find out what those individual numbers, you know.
And 2s and 7s, which it says it right here, notoriously do not get along. 2s and 7s just can't make it work, in my experience. And it's interesting. You'll be working somewhere in a work environment. You'll have a couple people that just don't get along, don't like each other. You know how many times I've run people's numbers.
Oh my God. Yes.
Get their birthday and just do it. And you're like, yep, because y'all are toxic. You don't get along.
She says, thank you. And you're welcome.
It's never going to work. You're welcome, honey.
So I did have, now I had a question planned for just cards on the 7/7, but a couple people tossed in some spiritual ones. So, you know, we can do either or. I know you don't necessarily like just plain general. Is like,
I'm fine with it. Whatever. I don't care. We can read on anything. Doesn't matter to me. That's fine.
So I guess we can, let's see, it's 8:57. I do have to watch my, because I've been doing so many lives this month already. Last month I renew on the 24th. So we can go to about, you know, quarter after 9:30, nothing later. So I have, so if it's a spiritual question based on 777, again, you know, Allison and I don't do politics. We don't, you know, do third parties read on other people's energy without their permission. You know, health and legal, you know, so if it's like a spiritual question based on today's numbers, go right ahead and, you know, type in me really big or type in your question big so I can see it. And so far, Rosanna was the first person who put a request in. And then I can use, whoops, where's my comments? There we go. And I can use my new deck that I got today and give it a try. Give it a spin. So let me go back up. Let's see. Spiritual gifts. Ooh, chat's jumping. Okay. So Rosanna, I'm just going to stick with your first question. What are my current spiritual gifts? Okay, Allison's still shuffling. So I'm just going to go ahead. My new deck today, the Healing Waters. And Rosanna, you are my first read with these cards. So the first one that I'm just going to go into the large screen here. I have the wellspring. What are you thirsty for? Body is also body care and taking a breath. So right now with the wellspring, it looks like you might need to maybe take some healing baths, maybe go to a place nearby where there's water that you feel that makes you feel like you're healed. Taking time to, you know, meditate, you know, especially with this being a water deck. And it is saying that you kind of have to take a break. You need to rejuvenate, make sure you're drinking plenty of water, you know, take cleansing baths, purifying baths. And it says here, and this is a nice, you know, maybe a prompt to write in a journal. What are you thirsty for? And just let it flow and start writing what you get. The next card that I have for you is Metamorphosis. Embrace transformation. Things are different now. So you are growing, you are developing, you are transforming. You're going through all these different changes, and with the waters being involved, a very spiritual, a very intuitive. You're developed. It's kind of hard to see with the glare, but these cards are so beautiful. So she's just sitting there, and she has like glaciers and waters just, you know, running right up to her. So there's a tiny little doorway. And so kind of like your source, your well source. So like with the first card, make sure that you replenish that, because sometimes if we do a lot of spiritual development, growing, you know, and we don't pay attention to replenishing our own energy after putting it out, we can get spiritually hydrated, if you want to put it that way too, emotionally hydrated, not just physically. So you are going through a transformation. Beautiful, beautiful. And beneath the surface, what's really driving you? True motives and breaking free. So on your spiritual path right now, another question for you. What is really driving you? True motives. So writing down in your journal what it is spiritually that you are drawn to. What is it that you want to do spiritually? What is it that you want to learn? What do you want to connect more with? Do you want to connect more with guides? What do you need to do? You want to connect with angels more? So it's basically asking you to sit down and kind of writing exactly what it is. And then with the breaking free and the true motives is like, if you feel like you might be putting too many boundaries or confinements around you, and you're not quite sure, there's that breath again where you step back and say, okay, this is me taking a break. I'm going to journal. I'm going to get down to what it is that I really want to do. Focused, especially if there's many different things that you want to explore, and just kind of start working at each one at a time. So those are your cards. I'm going to give you over to Miss Allyson.
All right. So, and it's Rosanna. Is it Rosanna?
Rosanna.
Rosanna. So yeah, Rosanna, and I think I've read for you before. So
she's a regular.
Right. I just knew that Rossi wasn't right. You need to nurture yourself more in some sort of way. You would probably know what that is. But if you don't, you know, give it some thought. You know, what is it that's missing? Is it downtime? Is it, you know, meditation? Because you're asking about you're asking a spiritual question. You need to be doing more to nurture yourself in order for you to feel fulfilled. So that you're probably feeling a gap or like something's missing in some sort of way, whether or not you realize that that's what it is. I'm being shown that that's actually what it is. Also, finding some sort of a spiritual group or a sisterhood or, you know, a reading circle or, you know, something like that would be very beneficial. You would really benefit from being a part of something like that. Yeah, that would be really good. I have nurture, fulfillment, and unity. And that is absolutely what I'm getting out of all of this. I also drew for you from and you know, I did. This is from the African Goddess Rising Guidebook, which is highly recommended by me for anybody looking for something powerful to read from. And I drew a card that I have not drawn yet, so I'm very excited.
Ooh.
So this is the card. Hopefully it's showing up fairly well. And I love this because we actually have a guy in this card. It's the first time. I think this is the only time a man shows himself. And he is depicting the sun. And she...
Beautiful.
Yep. And she, of course, is the moon. So this is Mon Lisa. So this is African. And the message is of cosmic power. And I'm going to read about this. And the number on this card, for anybody that cares about the numerology of it, is 2, especially since we're talking about numbers tonight. And I'm going to read about her as well as read the message. And I am reading from the book only because I don't know this deck yet. And I'm wanting to learn it very thoroughly. And also it's one of the times where I really do think what the book is saying is critical.
Yes.
So Ma Lisa, or Ma Wu Lisa, and I have looked this up. This is how you pronounce this, is the force of mother, father, God, goddess. Ma Wu is the moon, the divine feminine. Lisa is the sun, the divine masculine. They came together during a Fan, F-O-N, Fan eclipse to create cosmic power. This is an event that was believed to have occurred. So this is the guidance message. You are in the right place. Release the fear of your power. You are sacred. You are magic. Now that you know this, you can no longer pretend not to. The embodiment message: rise up into your magnificence. Love and accept yourself fully to unlock everything you seek. And that's a huge message for a lot of people. I'm going to say that again. Love and accept yourself fully to unlock everything you seek, meaning you can't do it without doing that. Stop pretending to be less than you are. Your real power has nothing to do with external gains. Cosmic power cannot be destroyed or lost. You were created by the same force that birthed the sun and the moon. And the goddess declaration, which is the mantra essentially, is, my power shines forth from within. And for anybody that resonates with the messages that I read, whether it's for you or not, the mantra is the thing that you want to, if you would like, remember it, write it down, or remember it, or whatever, and start saying it. These mantras are, again, this is I absolutely believe in the power of this entire deck and the goddesses that are attached to it. So again, my power shines forth from within, which, think about that. That is such a powerful statement. It really is. So, but that's the message that I have for you.
So Rossi said, I'm a Libra. I want to learn everything. And she says that was Libra. Also an incredible message. Love it. So
was she the 9? Did she say?
Rossi, are you the 9 or are you the 8? I think Rossi might have been Rosanna. I go back and forth. I can't remember which one. She says it was an incredible reading. What number are you, Rosanna?
Thank you.
Yeah, everyone said that was a powerful.
I love the deck. I'm telling you guys, anybody that's kind of like just itching to, because I know how some of you are just like to buy decks. That's a great deck to buy.
Nice.
Fabulous.
She says, oh, she's a 7. Okay, well,
she's a 7. There, girl. Yes. Yes, you are absolutely powerful.
Nice.
And
so
if you,
next,
yeah.
So Sonia is our next one. And what are my spiritual gifts? So for the 7-7 for gifts, and I went ahead and I shuffled already when you were reading.
Okay.
So I'm just going to go ahead. And Sonia, I have the water carrier. What really matters, reflection and reprioritize. So the water carrier, I'm just going to focus on this. You carry Wait, Sonia, I don't know why this jumped into my head, but when I was reading the water carrier and I'm looking at the image, and for me, it feels like almost like someone's holding um, a woman's a woman by the belly and helping her birth naturally, a midwife into a tub or water. I don't know if it has anything associated with you, but it's just beautiful. The hands, the holding water, you're carrying water, you carry emotions, you carry sometimes too much of people's emotions. Um, you have that healing. So this is very empathic. This is very, you're in touch with people's emotions, and you and with the hands, with the healing, with the water. But I just keep seeing a woman in a bathtub giving birth, and you're like there with her. So I don't know if this has anything associated with you, or maybe somebody you know, or this could be very well a past life. But I love the water carrier, and water contains. And what I love too about this new deck is um, Rebecca talks about, and also Nancy from Macron's Intuition just did a video on the water oracle deck that Imaratu Emoto, before he passed away, he did studies and linked how our energy, our thoughts, our prayers can affect how water's crystal structure changes. So this also carrying the water carrier, carrying those emotions, helping people adjust and change. Um, it's very fluid, it's very flowing. Um, then I got the thank you. So there is a thank you involved. Gratitude, appreciating what is sustaining you. So a time during your spiritual gifts, remembering to be thankful to your guides and to Spirit and the universe for the gifts that you do have, and appreciating the gifts that you do have, being grateful, and when you're ready, it's like she's got almost like wings behind her. So what your gifts are, they're sustaining you. And if I keep going back to this one, it's almost like you helped me with a birth in a past life or in this life. And also there's like a thank you card too. So it's like a double meaning reading with the cards with me. And then the last card I have is the clear waters. And it's clear vision, confirmation, right timing, opportunity. So everything that you are doing is you're on track. You have clarity about what it is that you want to do, where you're heading, what you're developing. Um, I know a lot of readings when I get the waters and stuff. It's for me a lot of developing intuition, learning to trust in that. Um, this is the right time. You may even have a new opportunity coming up, to learn something new. But at this time, everything is just flowing beautifully. And it says clear water. So you have clear vision of what it is that you want to do. And this may even be referring to clear vision because of being the water carrier, understanding people's emotions, and maybe even helping them guide them through those emotions. So that's that card there for you. And okay, Tangi, you're off to fly on your spaceship. All right, sweetheart. I'll talk to you later. And I hope that resonated, Sonia, especially with if anything comes up with the water birthing ever, like in the future, if that was like a past life or something, let me know because I just kept getting this bathtub with a woman and you being there and helping this woman give birth in a bathtub with, a baby. So up to you. You're muted.
Thank you, ma'am. You know I'm always muted when I start talking. So Sonia, you I don't know if you're already doing this or if you've had it happen and you just missed it or whatever, because we can't really talk right now because this is what we're doing. It's very limited, but you've got ancestors that try to communicate with you. You probably have at least one ancestor that's a guide. you can do this. You probably are getting gifts. Sometimes it's very strong. You might recognize it. Other times it might just float right by you, and it's kind of like putting a puzzle together. You're not really sure what's going on. You could get feathers, dimes, butterflies, whatever it is, right? I'm not saying it's any of those things, but it's like you're getting messages. They're coming in. Maybe it's really clear. Other times it's not so clear, that kind of thing. And I'm loving this because I'm getting better at doing all of this stuff, and I'm getting a very clear message coming through. Just to tag slightly into something that Heather said, it's interesting because I just came across a picture of me birthing my son in the water, and I haven't seen that photograph in years. I just was looking at it. So it's interesting that Heather even mentioned that. And this, the goddess card that I'm about to read for you, this woman is standing here and she has all kinds of water behind her. What I make of this, and as well as the actual card that I got for you, which is Celestial, because I only one card came out for you. That was it. But this is very much tied, and it is a strong message. I think probably you sitting by water is going to help you better connect with your guides and your dead relatives, whoever this is that's around you that's trying to come through, whether or not they're a guide or just somebody who's really able to pierce the veil and communicate with you. This could be a grandmother. It does feel feminine. I will say that. I don't think it's male. There's probably more than one, but whatever I'm somewhat picking up on, it does feel feminine in energy. But anyhow, you got Sarah Lakali is the goddess that came up, and this is divine lineage. And the card that you got from my moon oracle deck is Celestial, and she's all about everything I just said, but I was already sensing all of that. So there is something. So you're asking what your gifts are. I don't know what all your gifts are, but absolutely communicating with one of your guides, which is probably a relative, is one of them. And so anyways, water means that's great. Okay, so I'm going to read a little bit because I've only pulled this one once, I think, maybe twice, but I'm going to go ahead and read about her. And it might be Sarah. I can't remember. I looked all of these up, but my mind is a blank right now. It might be Sarah Lakali, which does make more sense. So great ancestress Sarah Lakali, meaning Sarah the Black, was an Egyptian prophetess and the patron saint of the Romani people. Oral history says that Saint Sarah had the highest divine lineage. So her guidance message is, your ancestors protect the Holy Grail. The Holy Grail is you. Divine ones walk beside and within you. Trust. I mean, come on. So the embodiment message is, your ancestors want to remind you that you are not alone. They are rooting for you. You can't make this up. They ask you to honor your spirit guides and call upon the power of the divine. Create or nourish your ancestral altar or shrine. Unbury your ancestors. Speak their names. Yeah, I just got covered in goosebumps with that. That's something huge that you can do. Your divine lineage ancestors may be blood related or culturally or spiritually connected. In the goddess declaration, I am my sister and my sister is me. That's your message.
Wow, that was powerful. And I know how much you connect with ancestors, so I can see still more reasons why you were drawn to this deck, because it refers so heavily in reminding people to stay in
a couple
touch
of
with
the
their
cards
ancestor.
do. Yeah.
Ancestry is so important.
It can be very powerful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hypnicity again would like to know what deck that is, Allyson.
Absolutely. It is Aviola Abrams, and it's called the African Goddess Rising Oracle Guidebook.
Nice. I even love her name. That is so beautiful.
Oh, and her picture is here as well. You can't really see her. She's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amanda Carroll said, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
And I should say the artwork is done by Destiny Powell. We should give her credit. Destiny Powell
the artist don't.
is the artist.
Most definitely. That's why I've noticed that, like when I bought this deck, what draws people out to a deck is the artwork. And sometimes I'll be like, there's the big name of the person who wrote the book, but the artwork, the meat of it, the artwork is sometimes, you don't even get to see the picture or anything. It's mentioned in a dedication. Thank you for the artwork. And it's just like, without the artist, there is, deck.
Yeah, it would fall flat.
And that's why it's so important to support,
absolutely,
the creators of the decks, and try to make sure to buy the originals whenever, possible. Oh, Rosanna says, I bought the deck after Allyson read for me. So Rosanna bought the deck.
Yay! That's awesome.
And Hypnicity says she's very Arthurian drawn. Me too. And Hypnicity, this new deck, the author lives in Glastonbury. And
cool.
She has several images that reflect the Tor, the chalice well, and she shares stories, about that as well. And Sonia said, thank you both so much. Was told there was a huge gathering on the other side when I was born, celebrating. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very beautiful. And before we go to our next, card question, Amanda Carroll did have a question for us. She goes, I understand the 777 is related to Isis and Egypt via the Orion constellation. Are you familiar? Thoughts?
I did not know that. It's no mistake that you mentioned that, Amanda.
And
that's probably my guides giving me a giant kick, because I'm getting all this Egypt stuff lately, and I've read a lot about Isis, and I've always been somewhat drawn to her, and I didn't know that. So I will be looking into this and seeing what the connection is. Thank you.
Now, is Isis in that deck? Because Egypt being in Africa, it is. Okay, she is. Okay. Hi, Nancy. Oh, it's okay, sweetie. So,
very interesting.
And so our last card pull for the evening, it's Perfect 921, is for Isadora. And she would like cards pulled for, the 7-7. And I already went ahead and did that. So while you're shuffling, I'll get started on Isadora's cards. Oh, I just love these new. I haven't read the book yet, so it's very important for me. I know now to, to look over the book, just because of so many multi-layer. I have several decks by this author, and her the artist that she works with is just, it's a beautiful pairing of the art of the artist with the author. I have to say that they do both work very beautifully together. So Isadora, I have Cosmic Ocean is your first card. So it says current dreams, future realities, and new beginnings. So what's really calling to me on this card for you is current dreams, because of the the portal or the 777. Because a lot of people are saying they feel this energy. We just had that full moon. It was a super moon, and when we have a full moon, that really affects us on an emotional and intuitive level, especially women, because of the water in our wombs, for when we carry children, and just for the amount of water that we all have in our bodies in the first place. And so I did get the Cosmic Ocean. So for you, automatically dreams, they may be, start writing them down if you can, because I'm also, says on the card, future realities. So this may be, you're starting to get some prophetic dreams, and that you're being guided to start writing them down as much as you can remember them. And it says new beginnings. So this may be something you want to start a dream journal, or this might be something that you want to start learning about dreams and studying symbolism. Dream Detective Kate, she does a show with Allie, and she does other shows, but she does where that she talks about dreams because she's very familiar. She studied dreams. So if you have any ideas, questions about dreams, that would be a great show to catch when she does it with Allie on Her and Soul Connected. The next card I have is Immerse Yourself. Training, learning, new hobbies and passions. So I feel like you're really getting into wanting to study dreams, understanding the symbolism, learning to see what they're trying to tell you, if there's anything that's prophetic about them, things that are your guides trying to talk to you about you. It's just immerse yourself. You want to study. You're fascinated with it. So at this time, this is a great card also moving forward and saying, yes, do that. And then the last card I have for you is the Healing Lagoon. Rejuvenate, recover, time to heal. It's safe to stop. Okay. So this third card is just letting you know that you can be, you're learning this and it's encouraged, but at the same time, make sure that you do take a break, rejuvenate, make sure that you know when it's time to stop. And when time to stop, I'm trying to figure out how this is connecting with, is that sometimes we like really overdo it. We try to, we try to push ourselves to remember, or we get so like, okay, I have to remember my dreams. You wake up in the morning, I can't remember too many of them. I don't understand them. This is where the dream journaling comes in very handy. And it almost looks too like in this book, on this card, that looks like there's like an open book above her head too. So learn, do the dream journaling, but at the same time making sure that, especially too if you're doing this for other people as well, if that's what you're interested in, make sure that you give yourself time to recover, get your energy back, because sometimes we can push ourselves too hard. And this is, I think, just the guides reminding you that there are certain times you listen to your body. There are times when there's too much close to a full moon, you may have to step back a little bit, not doing too much. Just listening to the natural rhythms of your dreams, your intuition, and your energy and what your body's saying. And that's just them giving them that little nudge, that little reminder. If there are times when you're like, okay, I have to stop with my dreams, guides, we have to kind of give me a couple of nights off to break for me to be able to process what I've already received, the downloads, the images, the dreams. Just let them know, and they'll be there to help you with that. So I hope that resonated or helped you in any way. And let me give you back over now to Allyson. Allyson.
Oh my God. Thank you, honey. I don't know why I can't. I purposely mute myself. Anyhow, okay, let's get to it. So, Isadora, okay. I pulled Nagame. It's like NG is like Nya. So Nagame, right, is how you pronounce this. And it's desire. And you see here, we have this goddess, and she has the triple moon behind her. Okay.
Oh, okay. I can see it now.
She has power. Okay. That's the main thing that I want to, I'm separate from what I'm reading. You are so powerful. We all are, us women. And so I don't know if something happened and you pulled back or what it is exactly, but there's something about power, expressing your power, being powerful, not being like, I don't want to say small, but you know what I mean? Like holding back, not expressing yourself. I don't know what it is, but I want to say that. So, okay. And if you're very bold and outspoken, okay, maybe there's somebody that you do this with that's close to you because that person holds you back or whatever it is, but there's something there about that. So Nagame, desire. I've never pulled her online, so I'm going to read about her really quick. She's the triple moon goddess of the Ashanti. Every new day, this mother goddess rebirths the sun, shooting life into us from her moon bow. And that's what this is right here, right? This crescent moon that's in front of her. Her lunar rays illuminate souls. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry. So the guidance message, dream bigger. Puny desires constrict you. Your desires create your life. So allow them to flow boldly. Meaning, speak your truth. Embodiment message. What do you really desire? Get specific. See it, smell it, feel it. Call it in now. What you desire desires you. Does your desire flow from love or fear? Manifestations that come from fear-based desires keep you safe and small. This is exactly what I was just saying. Desires that come from your soul expand your world. The declaration, what I desire desires me.
Oh, I love that.
What I desire desires me. And for anybody that's interested, again, her name is Ngame, and I know it's not reflecting very well. It's NG, like Nancy Girl, AME, NGAME. And her element is air, and she's the goddess of desire, Ashanti Akan, AKAN. So that's the message. And then really quickly from the whatever this is, I can never remember the name, the Earthly Souls and Spirits, I got Divinity and Celestial, which basically is just coming back to that same thing. If you read about it, it's being powerful. It's owning, what you are, who you are the divine, you're the goddess, you're all powerful, don't limit what you can have, create, be, whatever, be out there. And there is no limit to what you can have or create or be. What'd you say? I dreamed you and I were. Is she talking about you or me? I don't know.
That's why I put that up there. Is it?
I dreamed
are you
and I
talking
were doing
about
something with flags?
No, is that you and Allyson? You and I? Unless you're talking to somebody else in chat, but I don't think so. So Isadora, if you can.
Flags are symbols, and they're also they wave, they get attention. Interesting.
So thank you so much.
I wish I could remember more of my dreams. I sleep like a rock, and I rarely remember anything.
I'm starting to remember more of them, and some of them have been kind of forewarning some stuff, but others I'm just kind of like, well, that's different.
At least, I mean, it's your subconscious going crazy. So yeah, I'm probably glad I don't remember mine, and I don't need to. I'm cool with it, but it is neat when I do remember one. So,
Isadora, I don't know. I'm just going to maybe wait a few minutes. So thank you everybody for being here. And Isadora, if you want to put that, in the comments, if you don't get in there before we end the live and let us know, that would be really, I'm interested. You got my curiosity piqued. So, and start writing, when you dream about the flags, write down, first of all, what they feel like to you, what they represent to you, and then go and, look under other,
absolutely
things and then see if there's any, correlation or connection. Like Allyson was saying, what color were they? Were they white, like truce? Were they red, like flagging, red, alert, caution,
and just see what it means to you. Me personally, I'm not speaking for anybody else. I don't put any weight in dream interpretations, like what other people say and whatever. You decide what your dreams mean. Because symbology, oh my God, what somebody else thinks is something is not what necessarily you're going to think it is. I was stating what flags are, obviously, but like whatever you think the dream is most likely what it could be. If you're honest with yourself. A lot of people, I don't know anything about you, but like if you're,
that's why it's good for her to have a dream journal, like in the cards. It looked like there was
absolutely.
The way she had her hands up, it was water, but yet at the same time it looked like a book. So just start, journaling your dreams. Laying just automatic writing and just let it flow. Connect with your guides, and help me understand what this dream was. Write down, and if you're not quite sure, just start writing down anything, and maybe that'll get that your that psyche, that subconscious,
Mhm.
going. That would be able to. So yeah, she's not responding, so maybe she's writing this all down. But everybody, thank you. 9:34, perfect time to end. Thank you for hanging out with us this week again on another Friday, my day that I look forward to the most, to hang out with my chica here.
Yeah, it's
And
fun.
so everybody have a great weekend. Oh, you're welcome, Cosmic Orphan. I bought the Kindle book. I'm a 9. I learned something every day.
Ooh,
Very cool.
I love
And
9s. That's awesome.
and Sonia, Amanda, everyone's saying goodbye. Thank you again. Serena, Scorpio Mama, thank you for being here. And we'll see, you on one of our other shows or live streams. So have a great night. Have a happy and safe weekend. And we'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Yep.